All right, guys, I had a guy ask me about my 55 four-door, what happened to it. Uh, there's a couple of videos on my YouTube channel of this car, and the videos are in sequence of how it kind of went down to where it is right now. But in case you missed them, this is a 55 four-door 210 that I bought in Strang, Oklahoma during the summer. It was a barn find. It had been sitting since like 1990 or something, and the guy trailered it here for me. I worked on it for like a week or two. I got it running. It was a straight six 3-speed car. I got it running and actually driving. Not legally driving, but driving. You know, the tires are, since the 90s, they're dry rotted all to hell. But anyway, I got it to where it would start and run and actually move. But I ended up selling the motor and transmission out of it to a guy. I think he's going to put it in a 55 or 6 4-door. But my plans are a small block Chevy. Now what I have is a 305 HO from an 88 SS Monte Carlo that is totaled out. The engine is still in the car. I had taken the heads off that engine and used them on another engine. So I've got the short block. I know the engine's good because I had the car running and driving just here in the yard. But it is wrecked really, really hard. The frame's bent and everything. But the engine's still good. It only has 80,000 miles on it. But anyway, that's the engine I'm going to use in here. This is not going to be a race car at all. This is just going to be a highway cruiser. And I want to make it pretty dependable. But anyway, so I haven't had a set of heads for that engine because I ended up using them. And I got to tell you, trying to find a set of 305 heads is kind of hard to do anymore. It's like you can't find those anymore, and they got to be the 58cc chamber. It's a really small chamber for a 305. And I have a set of 76cc 882 heads off of 350 that are rebuilt, and I thought, well, maybe I could put those on there. And I actually messaged a guy at Tri-5 that knows his engine stuff pretty well, whom I trust, and he said, yeah, it'd be I think he said it was like 7-to-1 compression or something. He said probably wouldn't run good. So I mean, I didn't care if it was a total turd, but I wanted to make sure it would run okay. But anyway, so I ended up yesterday, I messaged a guy because I'd forgot. There's a guy in my housing addition named Dan. He's kind of a handyman guy, and he's a car guy. But he had a 305 that he had taken apart years ago in his shop, and it's just been sitting. And he doesn't have anything for it to go in. And I just happened to remember that yesterday, and I texted him. I said, you ever going to do anything with that 305? Well, long story short, I ended up trading him a set of headliner bows I had in my shed, used ones, for that 305. Now, that 305 is junk. It is, there's one cylinder that is way worn, man. Anyway, all I wanted was the cylinder heads, so I did get my perimeter bolt 58cc 305 heads. They're not HO heads, but I don't care. They'll work on that 305 and it'll get it back to its stock compression. But anyway, so I ended up acquiring heads for free. I didn't have to spend any money. And then I ended up acquiring more parts this morning, and I didn't mean to. Well, I kind of did, so I'll get to that. So what I did, on my hardtop, I'm trying to get the windshield and everything put in it. I need the clip that goes here for the trim, and the other one that screws on the cowl right here, or over there. I have these outers with the stud, and I had one with the hole in it for the Phillips screw, but I needed one of those and the long center one. So what I did, I worked on a guy's 57 hardtop, oh man, during the early summer, or last winter, I don't even remember. It was back from paint, but it needed all assembled, and a lot of the pieces were missing for the car. So I ended up taking a slide tray I had with 55, 6, and 7 trim clips in it over there, and that slide tray is not in my garage anymore. It's not in that screw bin, so I think I left it at his shop. So I called him this morning and asked him if I happened to leave a slide tray over there, and he said he hadn't seen it, but he is going to go look. He did tell me I could go look, but it's like an hour drive, so I'm going to wait and see. But anyway, so I thought, well, hell, I'll just I'll get a hold of another guy I know that's got he's actually, what has happened is, almost 10 years ago, I split a 56 Chevy 4-door 210 car with a guy. Somebody cut the whole rear section out of the car and welded it back together and made one of them shorties out of it, and they didn't do a good job. And the license plate said 1969. That's the last time that car had been on the road. It is rusted to pieces. This car is junk. But everything was on it. No motor, no tranny, but everything was there. All the dash parts, everything was on it. Even the stainless steel trim on the door panels was on it. So I haven't talked to that guy that we split that car. The car, we took it to his house. The only thing I took off of back when we first drug it in was the lower splash apron, and I used it on a 56 Bel Air 4-door I had at the time. Very nice splash apron. Anyway, that guy, he stopped coming around. I had heard from a guy, he stopped messing with cars, so he just wasn't doing much. So I kind of took it as a hint not to go over there, you know. But anyway, out of the blue, he stopped by a month ago, and I asked him, I said, hey man, you still got that 56 4-door 210 over there that we split? And he had this pause for a minute, and he's like, yeah, what do you need? And I was like, well, I got a 4-door and I need some parts. So I brought him out here and I showed him this car, and I told him I need the 210 steering wheel out of it. And he goes, well, there's no steering wheel in it. And I said, well, there was, because I'm the one that steered it on the trailer. And anyway, I told him, told him a few things I needed. And anyway, 2 days later, I come out of my house. In my driveway, in front of my truck on the ground, was that 210 steering wheel from that 56, a couple of access panels for the doors, and one of the cups for the rear seat in the floor. And you know, none of the other stuff that I mentioned, but I didn't ever mention it all because I didn't have the list in front of me. But anyway, I texted him and I called him, and he never would return any of them. So I took it as he don't want me over there. So anyway, this morning I called and I told him, I said, I need a couple of clips to put my windshield in my hardtop. I mean, I can get the glass in there, no problem, but I want that trim to go ahead and put it all on and be done with it. And anyway, I said, while I'm there, I need a couple of wing window mechanisms and a couple other little things for the 4-door while I'm there. And you can kind of tell he didn't want me over there. But I ended up talking my way into getting over there. But anyway, I get over there and I start taking parts off. And I told him, I said, I'm just going to go ahead and take the doors. I got to tell you, there's lots of parts missing off that car. You know, when we originally split the car, he told me all he really wanted was the rear end and the steering box. Those are still in the car. I wanted the fender off the driver's side. It was mint. No rust on top of the headlight, no rust down low. It was a nice straight fender, very nice. It was off of it. Windshield's gone, windshield trim gone, all the dash parts are gone. I was like, oh my gosh. So anyway, I told him, I said, I'm just going to go ahead and take the doors. Hey, well, what do you need them for? Well, I need the parts. He goes, well, yeah, but I've got a buddy of mine that's building a 55, and he's been coming over here and getting bolts and, you know, screws and stuff. And I said, I split this car with you, and the only thing I took was a splash apron. And there was a long pause. My face turned red. I started shaking. I was getting mad. And he was mad too, I could tell. But it pissed me off. It's okay for him to have somebody come over and take parts off a car that me and him split. But it's not okay for me to take the doors off a car that half of it's mine. So anyway, I told him, I said, do you have a socket and a ratchet I can borrow? I didn't take any big tools to take the whole doors. I just took little, you know, 1/4-inch stuff to, you know, take the wing window mechs out and stuff. So anyway, it made him mad, but he went and brought me a ratchet, and the doors are behind the car now. And I can tell you this, I'm probably not going to be able to go back over there, and I really don't care. I don't even care if he ever stops by again. He shouldn't have done that to me. That was kind of stupid. I have gave that guy lots of parts through the years for cars. Give it to him. I don't understand it. But I actually give him, when he stopped by a month ago, one of them superior 15-inch vintage steering wheels, you know, like you see on gassers. It was actually on this car, and I gave it to him. And he cleaned it up and put it on something. So, you know, and then he wants to know why I want the doors. And they're rusty. The bottoms are rusted out of them. So, you know, I don't get it. Anyway, I got these doors, and I'm glad I did. There's lots of little pieces I need off these doors, and they are routed out on the bottom, so they're, you know, I'm not going to use the doors, but I'm going to strip the crap out of them for parts I need for this car. Now again, I am not working on this 4-door. All I'm doing, I just went ahead and gathered these because I didn't have to pay for these. These were bought and paid for almost 10 years ago, but I like to not got them. But anyway, getting the doors, I needed 2 armrests for a 210. There they are. I've got uppers, but I don't have the bases. 2 of mine are broken, and there are the ones on the other one too, and the stainless trim pieces on them. I needed the wing window cranks the mechanism in there that makes the wing window move. I needed those. And it's kind of funny because one of my wing windows, I think it's on the passenger, on the inside, the stainless trim has a big old dent in it, big old dent crease in it, and this one's nice, so I'll be able to slide that stainless piece off there and do that when I redo all the rubber in the wing window. But the other thing, one of my door belt line moldings, I can't remember which one, is very, very smashed, and these are both nice on this car. And this one actually has a good door glass I can use. So I mean, just having the whole doors, I got me some parts, you know what I mean? And I got the access panel covers I needed. Actually, that's the first thing I started taking off when I got there, was them access panels. I get the big one in the back and the little one. And then at that point is when I decided I'd just take the whole doors. But the access panels are on that door too. But anyway, I've been stacking it full of parts. Tons of extra parts I've had in my garage, my shed, my attic. Anytime I was digging parts out for my hardtop, if I seen a 4-door part, I'd bring it out here and throw it in the car. So I have like tons and tons of extra tray and just all kinds of extra little parts and pieces to put on this. But anyway, that is where it is. It's out here in the salvage yard. It's pretty much waiting its turn. You know, I'm not going to mess with it until I get the hardtop done, but it has been kind of cool that I gathered parts for this by accident. And I didn't spend any money. And that's, nothing gets better than that, you know what I mean? But when I do this car, I'm going to do side motor mounts, and I'm going to build a transmission cross member from scratch. And I've got a brand new set of coated shorty style headers for a 55, 6, or 7 Chevy with factory steering box and 3/4 forward motor mounts. And they're ceramic coated, or Alumacoat, whatever that's called. Brand new in the box. I bought them for my hardtop, and then I ended up buying stainless headers later. So I'm going to use them coated ones in here, but they're the shorty style or 3/4 length or whatever they call those. But anyway, it's just going to end up being a neat car. I did notice my disc brake kit that I put on here. This is a Speedway disc brake kit I put on here. The rotors are really, really rusty. I should have painted them damn things when I put it together, I guess. But anyway, guys, that's a 55 4-door, where it's at right now, what's going on with it. And this will be a full channel build from front to back when I get this in there, and you know, after the hardtop's done. But I'll do a video on just about every section of this car when I'm building it. But this will end up being willow green down here and up in here, but it'll have a sand beige roof and 210 caps, green steel wheels. The dash is going to be all stock with a radio delete and a clock delete. I'm going to do a Ciadella stock replacement interior, probably the 2-tone green one. But anyway, that's the 4-door. Now I'm going to get back on my hardtop.